My loving audience take my love and subscribes my channel. And dive B&B stories. So, was the throne of Los Angeles fashion actually stolen in a boardroom coup? Or did the Forresters simply forget how to rule? Well, think about that for a second because it's a question that's currently blowing up the entire world of the bold and the beautiful. Is the great dressmaker finally losing his grip on the crown? Or is there something way more sinister happening behind those designer sketches? The air in LA hasn't been this thick with desperation since the last time a Spencer decided to play God with someone else's legacy. We're witnessing a total structural shift in the power balance of the fashion world. And honestly, the fallout is already looking like it's going to be way more destructive than anyone in the Forrester camp realized. On one side, you have the legendary Forrester creations, a house built on decades of being untouchable, now suddenly looking like a sinking ship that just hit an iceberg made of Logan ambition and Spencer cash. But why is this happening right now? The funny thing is, it isn't just a simple business rivalry. It's a perfect storm of ego and neglect. For years, the Forresters treated Hope Logan like a corporate afterthought, sidelining her hope for the future line until she was basically forced to go find some air elsewhere. This wasn't just a betrayal. It was a survival move. Katie Logan didn't just steal Hope. She saw a talented woman who was being ignored and offered her a throne instead of a stool in the corner. The whole situation exploded when Rich Forrester did the absolute unthinkable. He pulled the plug on the biggest night in his company's history. He postponed the couture show indefinitely, claiming he's protecting the brand from the scandal of the Logan launch. But let's be real here. That is the move of a man who has lost his nerve. He's handing the victory to Bill Spencer on a silver platter because he's terrified of a fair fight. Now we have to talk about the man of the hour. Bill Spencer is the smuggest man in Los Angeles right now, and he is holding court in his office like he already owns the city. He just delivered a line that is going to haunt Ridge's dreams for years. He looked Ridge right in the eye and told him, "There is new royalty in LA fashion." I mean, can you imagine the look on Ridge's face? This isn't just business trash talk. It's a calculated psychological knife twist designed to dismantle Ridge's entire identity. Ridge has spent his whole life believing the Forrester name was a divine right. By using the word royalty, Bill is telling him that the lineage has changed. The Spencer-Logan empire has planted its flag, and the throne has a new occupant. You can just feel the predatory joy coming off Bill. He doesn't just want to win. He wants to see Ridge suck it up and admit he's been surpassed. For Bill, this is the ultimate "I told you so." He's finally managed to knock the Forrester ego down a peg by taking their lead designer, their young visionary, and their market share all at once. I see this as a hostile takeover of the entire Forrester legacy. Bill isn't just building a company. He's building a monument to Ridge's failure. He's using the Logan women as the most exquisite weapons in his arsenal. He's kissing the crown onto Katie's head and telling her, "You did it beautiful." But you have to wonder, is he celebrating her success? Or is he just celebrating the fact that he finally outdesigned the dressmaker by designing a better business trap? Here's my take. I think this whole empire is built 100% on spite. Bill could have invested in anything, but he chose fashion specifically because that's where Ridge lives. It's petty, it's expensive, and it's honestly kind of brilliant. If Ridge falls for good, Bill wins the only game that has ever mattered to him, being the silverback on top of the mountain. This is classic dominance behavior. Bill's ego needs a victim. He isn't satisfied with record earnings. He needs to see the dressmaker reduced to fuming in his office while the media questions why Forrester is suddenly so quiet. It's a power game where the clothing is just a byproduct of the combat. While Bill is gloating about royalty, the actual treasury of the Old Kingdom is looking pretty empty. Carter Walton has been sounding the alarm for weeks, warning Ridge and Eric that the new couture line is the most expensive collection in the company's history. And Ridge's response? He says you can't put a price on Eric's genius. Except Ridge, you actually can put a price on it, and it's called a financial crisis. Forrester is burning through its reserves to teach the Logans a lesson, which is basically the worst reason to spend money. Meanwhile, over at Logan, Bill is focusing on quality but staying cost-effective. He's running a lean, mean startup machine while the Forresters are bloated on their own pride. Ridge is clearly acting from a place of deep-seated insecurity. He feels the younger, faster competitor breathing down his neck, and he's overcompensating. He's so threatened by the Logan name that he's making reckless choices, like shelving Elektra's jewelry line just because it's not as smash hit ready as the Logan launch. This is a classic case of an established brand being disrupted. The Forresters are like Blockbuster and Logan is Netflix. They are clinging to an aesthetic that fans are calling meh and uninspired, while the public is moving toward the fresh energy of Hope and Deke's line. By delaying the show, Ridge isn't waiting for the right moment. He's giving his opponent even more room to dominate the headlines. Honestly, Ridge and Steffi look incredibly weak as leaders right now. A real leader doesn't cancel their biggest event because a rival had a good day. By retreating, they are admitting that the Logan stuff is better. It's a total failure of nerve, and I suspect the fashion press is going to eat them alive. This is ego paralysis. Ridge and Steffi are so obsessed with how they are perceived that they can't actually function. They'd rather not play the game at all than risk losing publicly. It's the ultimate sign that they no longer believe in their own royalty.
Now we have to talk about the absolute carnage in the Logan showroom. Brooke Logan didn't just walk in to talk. She walked in like a wrecking ball. She actually shoved her own sister. Can you even believe that? This is a woman who usually preaches about family unity, yet she's physically attacking Katie over a business deal. Why did Brooke snap? It's because she's lost her puppet strings on Hope. For years, Brooke's identity has been tied to being the matriarch of the perfect Forrester-Logan hybrid family. The moment Hope took a career risk and chose a Spencer-backed house, Brooke lost her narrative control. She's projecting her own failures, her years of hopping between Spencer and Forrester men, onto Katie and Bill. Internally, Brooke is feeling pure, unadulterated betrayal. She feels excluded from the biggest decision of her daughter's life. But look at the hypocrisy. She's screaming about morally bankrupt Spencers, while standing in front of the woman whose husband she stole twice. The irony is so thick you could cut it with fabric shears. Katie isn't just starting a company. She's stepping out of the shadow. She's tired of being the other Logan sister. She's finally stopped apologizing, and that changes everything. When she reminded Brooke of all the things she had forgiven her for, the betrayals, the scandals, she was basically saying the moral high ground Brooke is standing on is a mirage. I am 100% on Team Katie here. Brooke acts like Hope was led astray by a cult, but Hope was just a talented woman who was being ignored at her old job. Brooke telling Katie, "I don't think I can ever forgive you," over a fashion line is peak melodrama, even for this town. It shows that Brooke prizes her own influence over her daughter's actual happiness. Brooke is exhibiting narcissistic rage. She can't accept that her daughter is an adult with autonomy. She calls the Logan startup a scheme because that makes her feel better about being kept in the dark for weeks. If she can't own Hope's success, she will try to destroy the platform Hope built. And what about that wicked theory floating around? It's absolutely scandalous. We have to ask, did Bill Spencer marry Katie for love, or did he marry the one Logan sister who could give his revenge a bloodline? Think about the timing. Bill told his wife weeks ago that this was war and he intended to win. He didn't say it was a business plan. He called it a battle cry. He's been bragging that he had the jump on the Dressmaker. Every gown and every order is just a love letter addressed to Ridge's ego, written in gasoline. Katie looks powerful and besotted, but there is a hesitant look on her face sometimes. Deep down, she knows the cost of a Bill-shaped betrayal. If she realizes her marriage is just a hostile takeover in a power suit, she might be the one to burn the whole empire down. I see Bill as a puppet master in a power suit. He's managed to make Ridge fight for his father's honor, which means they aren't even competing in fashion anymore. They're in a duel. And in a duel, someone has to die. If Ridge falls for good, Bill loses his enemy, and empires built on spite usually collapse when the enemy is gone. The conflict is moving way beyond the runway. 2. We've got a younger generation implosion happening at the beach house. Elektra Forrester is absolutely devastated because she feels like a pawn in the Spencer game. Will Spencer hid the hope for the future diamond and the new jewelry line from his own girlfriend? He claims it was just business, but Elektra isn't buying it. This is the Spencer bloodline showing its true colors. Will is following in Bill's footsteps, prioritizing the win over the woman. Elektra is gutted. She moved in with this man, and he lied to her about the very thing that was going to destroy her family's jewelry line. It's a cycle of trauma and ego that she's caught in. And then you have RJ Forrester, the golden boy, filling the doorway and ordering Will to let her go. The triangle we all saw coming has finally caught fire. Will is scrambling to keep her from walking out, but the home they built together is cracking down the middle. RJ isn't just coming to the rescue. He's pouncing on a failure he predicted from day one. If Will loses Elektra now, he loses her to the Forrester golden boy, which is just another loss for the Spencer ego. I agree with the fans who think Elektra should run to RJ. Will proved he's his father's son. He likes the power, he likes the secrets, and he doesn't care about the emotional wreckage he leaves behind. Why should she stay with a man who views her family as the enemy in a business deal? Will is struggling with Spencer identity. He wants to be a silverback like his dad, but he's realizing that the cost of being royalty is being alone. He's vibrating with desperation, but it's too late. The scandal he helped to create is now his own personal nightmare.
But wait, the escalation is about to hit nuclear levels. Ridge isn't just going to suck it up. He's launching a brutal revenge attack on Bill next week. We're talking about an all-out war exploding in Los Angeles. Ridge has several options for payback. He could go the legal route, sicking Carter Walton on Bill for breach of contract regarding Hope. He could try to sabotage the Logan line by hiring a fashion influencer to go viral with a video about how the Logan dresses are cheap knockoffs that fall apart. Ridge is beyond furious. He's not just thinking about business, he's thinking about his wife Brooke being shell-shocked and crying on his shoulder. He wants to pummel Bill physically. We've seen him throw Bill off a balcony before, and honestly, the way things are going, a Spencer Tower balcony might be the next stop. This isn't just a rivalry anymore. It's a fashion civil war. When family bonds are weaponized in business, nobody wins. Ridge is acting out of fear, and fear makes people do reckless things, like potentially poaching Shauna Fulton to lead a Forrester jewelry line just to stick it to Bill. I think Ridge's decision to cancel the show is the final nail in the coffin for the old Forrester creations. They've lost the narrative, they've lost their nerve, and now they're going to lose their money. If they don't produce something iconic soon, the Logan line will become the new standard for LA fashion. What are Bill's dirty tricks Ridge is so angry about? Was this really just a smart business move to protect a legendary brand? Or has the great dressmaker finally just lost his nerve? Well, think about that for a second, because it's the question that is currently blowing up the entire world of the bold and the beautiful. Ridge Forrester is currently vibrating with a level of fury we haven't seen in years. And honestly, can you even blame the guy? He is absolutely convinced that Bill Spencer hasn't just entered the fashion industry. He's launched a full-scale siege on the Forrester legacy. The air at Forrester Creations has never been this thick with desperation. And while Ridge claims he's protecting his dad's designs, the reality feels a lot messier. He feels like he's watching the total destruction of his dynasty in real time. And it all comes back to what he calls Bill's dirty tricks. Let's be real for a minute. To Ridge, this isn't just a simple business rivalry anymore. It's a perfect storm of ego and systematic sabotage. He believes Bill has been plotting this from the very start, using every low blow in the book to put Forrester Creations down for good. This isn't a competition in Ridge's eyes. It's a personal battle cry fueled by Bill's endless spite. Why is this all happening right now? Because Bill knows exactly where Ridge's armor is thin, and he's been poking those wounds with a huge smile on his face. Ridge defines himself by being the untouchable king of fashion, but Bill is out here telling him to suck it up, because there is new royalty in LA fashion. In my opinion, Ridge is acting from a place of deep-seated insecurity, because he finally has an opponent who doesn't care about the honor of the industry.
One of the biggest dirty tricks that has Ridge absolutely fuming is the way Bill handled that Logan press conference. Can you even imagine the audacity it took to stand there while Ridge and Brooke were trying to protect their family and just take over the mic? Bill didn't just defend Katie. He reclaimed the power by spilling all the Forrester family secrets right to the press. He told the world about the internal drama and the career glitches, and he basically invited the media to question Eric's loyalty to his own son's company. Ridge views this as a total blindside, intended to humiliate him on a global stage. Psychologically, this is classic Bill dominance behavior. He didn't just want to win the news cycle. He wanted to castrate the Forrester name by exposing their private laundry. I think Bill loved every second of it, especially seeing Ridge reduced to fuming in the background while the cameras flashed. Then we have to talk about the Hope heist, which is arguably the trick that cut Ridge the deepest. Ridge blames Bill for luring Hope Logan away from her family company under the cover of darkness. Hope secretly defected to lead a rival startup, and Ridge sees it as a calculated betrayal that has absolutely crushed Brooke. For years, Hope was sidelined at Forrester and treated like a second-class citizen by Steffi while Ridge looked the other way. But the moment Bill gave her a better offer, Ridge started acting like she'd been kidnapped by a cult. He thinks Bill brainwashed her, but the funny thing is, Katie and Bill just saw a talented woman who was being ignored at home. To add salt to the wound, Bill has been taunting Ridge, insisting that Hope is a Spencer, now and loyal only to his family. It's a total shift in the social fabric of the show, and Ridge is terrified because he knows Hope was their only real connection to a younger audience. But the real knife twist in this whole saga? It's the fashion ambush Bill orchestrated. Bill pushed the Logan launch and runway show right ahead of Eric's couture debut. This move was so successful and got so much hype that it forced Ridge to postpone Eric's show indefinitely. Ridge claims he's protecting the designs from being overshadowed, but I suspect he's just a coward hiding from a faster competitor. By retreating, Ridge is basically admitting that Bill's stuff is better. Think about how that feels for a man whose entire identity is the great dressmaker. He's been out-timed and outmaneuvered by a man who doesn't even know how to sew. Ridge is losing control of the story, and he hates it. And we can't forget about the weaponizing of the blue diamond. Bill didn't just launch a line. He used the Hope for the Future blue diamond to anchor the entire Logan brand. This diamond is deeply tied to the Forrester name, and seeing it draped over a Logan model felt like a physical wound to Ridge. He literally named this as one of the primary injuries Bill inflicted on him. It's not just a piece of jewelry. It's a family heirloom that Bill has turned into a marketing tool for a rival startup. This is pure psychological warfare. Bill is taking the Forrester's own symbols of success and using them to bury them. I think this shows that Bill isn't just trying to be a mogul, he's trying to dismantle the very idea of what it means to be a Forrester. Then there's the acquisition of Eric's designs. Bill and Katie secured those designs while Eric was feeling disrespected and forced into a meaningless retirement by Ridge. While Bill says those designs legally belong to Logan, Ridge argues they were essentially stolen from the Forrester family legacy. Bill's refusal to give them back has pushed Ridge to the edge, making him consider legal injunctions just to stop the sales. Ridge feels like he's fighting for his father's honor, but Bill just sees it as winning a duel. The psychological layer here is fascinating because Eric actually wanted to rub it in Ridge's face. Bill just gave him the platform to do it. Now, Ridge is stuck trying to outdesign his own father's best work, and the pressure is making him overinvest in a line that might not even be a hit. Finally, the most brutal, dirty trick of all is the financial warfare Bill is waging. Ridge is convinced Bill is using the massive capital of Spencer Publications to engage in a hostile takeover of the entire LA fashion scene. While Forrester Creations is currently facing a major financial crisis and burning through cash, Bill is focusing on cost-effective production to drive them into the ground. Bill is savvy enough to prioritize the bottom line, while Ridge is spending insane amounts of money justifying genius. So, what do you think is going to happen next? I'm expecting a massive legal battle over those designs. If Bill refuses to hand them over, Steffi is going to play the ultimate trump card. She will use Bill's own grandchildren, Kelly and Hayes, as bargaining chips. She'll ban Bill from seeing them until he surrenders. This will force Katie to go rogue and return the designs behind Bill's back, which will absolutely shatter their marriage. Meanwhile, Hope's apology tour is going to fail, leading her to fully embrace her dark side and make Logan the #1 fashion house in the world while Brooke and Ridge are left in the dust.
I really want to know your thoughts on this.
Do you think Ridge is a genius strategist for delaying the show to avoid the scandal? Or is he just a total coward who is terrified of losing to Hope and Katie? And was Steffi right to terminate Hope for the Future forever as a move of strength? Or did she just destroy the only part of Forrester that the younger generation actually cared about? This fashion civil war is exposing the deepest cracks in every single character, and honestly, I am here for every single second of the destruction. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the B&B drama, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more daily commentary and original insights. Don't forget to turn on those notifications so you never miss a breaking spoiler update. The story is moving fast, and you don't want to be the last to know who actually ends up on the throne. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.